Hello. This is a video explaining my assignment 2 project, and I'll go through it with you right now. So basically my game is that you are trapped in the Barclays Premier League with 0 points, and you have to work your way up the Premier League until to first place, so you can to win the game basically. And there will be 38 questions, and you will get a first try. If you get it correct the first time, you get 3 points. If you get it incorrect, then you get it correct on the second chance, you get 1 point. And if you get it incorrect both times, you get no points. 0 points. Yeah, so that's basically how the game works. You just have to keep on collecting those points until you reach a certain 87 points in this case to win the Barclays Premier League and to win the game. So first, I must create a do while loop, so that in the end you have the option to play again. That's here. That's the first thing I did. Now if you go up, first get a scanner class to be able to take inputs, and have this string which was told to store the name of your player, and a string team which will store the name of the team, and of course endpoint which will score the number of points you gain throughout as you're playing. Now I have to create an array which is called points, and it has a length of 20, and points contains all the the points of all the teams in the Premier League. And in points 19, which is the 20th element of the array, I set it to point, which is equal to the number of points I have, or the player has. And here is a parallel array. I named it teams, and that stores the names of the teams. See here, I have Chelsea. They're team 0, and they have 87 points. And point 0 here has 87 points. So that's why they're parallel, they're located in the same elements as each other. And my game is basically a set of questions which are stored inside an array, and I have in the first element I have the question, in the second element I have the correct answer, and in the following 4 I have the choices that are given to the player. And that's basically the same format for the 38 questions, as you can see here. Math questions, geography questions, science questions, and lastly soccer questions. And this is where the game starts. So that's the introduction, and here I have teams 19, which is me, is equivalent to team, which is the team you input in. And this prints out the teams for you in order. And here, this is the way I ask my questions. I want to randomize the questions so that each time you play you get the questions in a different order, so to make it more fun, or more unpredictable. And to do that, I create an array. I name it ask, and it's a Boolean array. And I set it to length 9 because I have in the first part I have 9 math questions. Then I have a do while loop, and then int random, which is the random number, is equal to int to make it an integer. Math.random multiplied by 9, and 9 because I have 9 questions in the first part. And then I have an if statement for each question. If r and d equals 0 and ask at 0 is equivalent to false, and then I ask the question. So basically, if 0 is generated and ask at 0 is false, so this is false, then I ask the question, and then at the end it sets ask at 0 to true, so the question is not asked again. And that is because I have here I do while, while has ask false, has false, so if I pop into my tools class, if we find has false, where is it? yeah, there it is. So basically, it goes through an array and searches for an array, and if an element in an array is set to is false, then I return true. So basically, I want all the elements inside array ask to be true. So that's why. Yeah. So if 0 is generated and ask at 0 is already set to false, and we ask the question, and if it's not, if it's set to true, then we don't ask the question. So yeah, so that's basically the whole format for my game. I have like each exactly the same section for science questions, math questions, and finally soccer questions, but in this time I have I set the length of the array to 11 because I have 11 soccer questions, and of course set R&D to 11. And at the end, this part here, it rearranges the array in terms of points. So I do that by first declaring points 19 is equal to points, so it's it's stored in the array now. And yeah, and then to rearrange the array in terms of points, I must create a for loop for it to go through the array. So there is n I is equal to 0, I is less than teams.length, and I goes up by 1 each time. And I create an int called smallest, which is equivalent to equal to points I. In this case, we start at 0, and then another int called small index, which I set to I. So again, in this case, 0. And then I have a for loop inside the for loop, and this time I use j is equivalent to I here. And then again, j less than teams.length, and j goes up by 1 each time. And this is where the magic happens, right here. I create an if statement, and then if smallest, which in this case is I, and in this case, which is, as I said, Chelsea, so 87 points, is bigger than points at j, which is in this case again I, and so 0, which is again Chelsea, they have 87 points, and then smallest becomes points at j, and small index becomes j. So they're basically switching them around. If smallest is small, if smallest is bigger than points j. So they're basically no, they're not switching them around. They're storing it in another place, storing it in another variable. And here is where the switching happens, right there. So in temp, so temporary integer, we set it to points I, and this is where it checks which number is bigger, and this is where it actually switches them around. So it puts points I into a variable called temp, and puts point small index into small I where it belongs, and then it puts what was stored in temp into small index, which is smaller. So basically, points I should contain the larger value, and points small index should contain these, the smaller value. And as I said before, points and teams are parallel arrays, so whatever we do there, we do exactly the same here. And in the end, I print out the teams in order, and I have if statement. So if you gain a specific amount of points, you're champion. Another specific amount of points, you made to a Champions League spot, and then Europa League spot, and then finally, if you don't have enough points, you're in the relegation zone. And this part asks you if you want to play again, and you simply put in yes or no, and you either play or not play. So I'm going to quickly show you an example of going through the game. I'm not going to play it all, I'm just going to start it and then pause the video and show you what happens. So first, there, write my name, make this bigger. Save. Please choose your team name. QPR for anything. Keep your space string in its place, and I will be back in a couple of seconds. As you can see here, it printed out the Barclays Premier League teams, and of course my team in last place with 0 points. And now it asks you a question. So what is 2 plus 2 multiplied by 4 minus 1? Oh, that's easy, 9. So A, now I have 3 points. Now negative 2 square root 7, I think that's negative 128, yeah. An equation for resistance, oh, I haven't done that in a while. Probably A, B, oh no, it's incorrect. Oh, so it's probably A. So as you can see, I got it incorrect, then correct, so I got from 6 points to 7 points, which is now 1 point, of course. Oh, so if xy is equal to, I don't know, 8, incorrect, 2, oh, no, I got both times incorrect, so I stay 7 points as I am. I'm going to quickly go through the game and then see you at the end. Hello again. So now I'm in the soccer questions, and it's so easy for me because I love soccer. And now I have 103 points, and the current BPL standings are my team, yes, in first place with 103 points, trailing it's Chelsea in second place with 87. Yes, congratulations, safe. QPR has made it to first place. You are champion of the BPL. Would you like to play again? Yeah, let's play again. So I input yes, and it takes me way back to the beginning of my game. And yep, this is basically it. Thank you for watching. I hope you like